wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. Power number 43, and I'm super excited to be with you guys today. As always, we'll dive into the love of the community, then talk about how SwissBorg Network is flourishing, and by talking about the alpha opportunities and its future of it, and talking about the Borg and some other cool initiatives that are taken from the community. As you guys know, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you, and may the Borg be with you. Thanks, CryptoCG. Shout out for your beautiful t-shirts. Really glad to have that one. I was looking at this slide and I just wanted to, shout out to everyone here. Our lovely Spanish crew here, the Mora crew, the Swiss German guys, the Swiss guys, Romance guys. French, beautiful community, the Lausannois, and more than that, and people around Europe essentially. And I really want to remember that this was the CHSB crew. This was the first DAOs and all these hoodies. By the way, this white hoodie, I would love to find it again. I can't find mine anymore, and this one is like very hard to get. And I thought about it would be nice to make a new one. So whoever wants to do that, it needs to be on a format. It'll be very nice to put, if we could put a lot of different pictures that sums up maybe 23, and maybe have like a year like a photo yearbook each year that's done by the community. I would love you guys to do that. Shout out as well to of course Rich Ritz family, rest in peace, one of our lovely Borger that has been with us in a lot of different difficult times. So it would be nice to make a new one with a lot of Borgers. Whoever wants to do it could do it. And I will hopefully post it next week on the next powwow. So talking about community, Automaton, it's a cool name, by the way. So how come I need to do a VPN to essentially we're looking I think this is the hero score. So for people who do not know yet, the FCA has taken a very strong essentially statement for crypto companies that are not regulated in essentially in the UK. SwissBorg has applied for this for this license and is looking in the short term to get through an umbrella procedure hopefully by the end of the year we'll be settled with that. And within this time that we are not under the umbrella, we don't have the license yet, we are not allowed to communicate directly to UK residents. So for that reason, we cannot do any promotional, financial video, financial advice to our dear Borgers in the UK for now. And obviously this will change as soon as, number one, we get the umbrella, or if we get the license before, but probably the umbrella is more suitable in the short time frame. So we already applied for both of this. And hopefully, essentially, the motion will happen and then we'll resume back to regular activities. It seemed like a bummer, but I think this was a really good thing. I believe that the FCA has really taken a strong case for crypto, but as well to regulate crypto in a very good fashion, and where a lot of things that they essentially are imposing is really something smart, where you need due diligence that has to be done on tokens, you need some reports to that, you need investor suitability, so a lot of questions. So in the short time, this might look like, oh no, again, regulation. I strongly embrace the difference of this, of how we could get to a higher way in terms of bringing the best information to our dear community members, and even more to set a standard for the entire world, which is going to be a great one. So looking forward to the next few weeks to months to get onboarded through this umbrella, and then be able to resume back activities like it always was, and making sure that our dear Borgers from UK are cherished in the best way possible. And there's probably going to be some cool stuff going forward, I imagine. Talking about lovely community members, I had to really talk about Inside Construction 68. You're amazing. So I don't go on Reddit as often I used to, because things have evolved. There's Discord and other different things, and we spend so much time on x.com. I think so. The good thing about Reddit is that you Inside Construction 68 is still managing the game, still really making that the SwissBorg thread is live. And thank you for that. I need to spend some time there for sure. And I really admire the fact that you're just pushing it. And I think so it's a great move because Reddit is one of the first real big crypto, essentially social media, way before Twitter, x.com, or way before Discord, way before any of the ones. Reddit is the original gangster, as we say, for social media of crypto. Tomorrow night, there's a meetup in Valais, so please check it out. It'll be Le Chavelard restaurant. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but looking forward to the next one. And talking about the next one, we will be in Solana Breakpoint in Amsterdam next week. If you guys are anytime in Amsterdam, please let me know. I'll be very happy to catch up for a beer. We might have like a really side small event with SwissBorg if you guys are willing. If not, it could be done on Thursday night if that's possible. As you guys know, whenever we hire people, Borgers essentially have this great immense joy to create a product within a few hours and then present it. And essentially this one, Vlad and Prismic and Lukash, what they did is that they essentially were trying to say how to initiate eventually copy trading. And we've talked about copy trading. So someone that is very good at trading and or very good portfolio manager could essentially get great ideas, build a portfolio, and then essentially offer people to copy on his behalf, right? It's a bit like the future of investment management in a very transparent way. And right now, the idea was to say before going and building all this huge new layer, which would be something cool for the future, and this is part of layer 4, why not just sharing our portfolio? I know a lot of Borgers have already done this. So yeah, here the idea was to create a new feature to share it. I think that just a print screen is good enough. But yeah, what's your stake? Share your location. It'll be very nice to see how things are doing on your side. If you want to be part, or if you want to earn Borg tokens, well, there's a new position, General Risk Manager. If you have anyone in your network who could be very good at analyzing risk from legal point, technological point, could be really good at compliance, could have this really 360 type of risk management framework and mindset based in Estonia, that would be great to have. It could be as well not only based in Estonia, but definitely would be a big plus. Market update. Let's talk about this market that is rallying. I told you guys that October was going to be a great month. Why? I think so. There was multiple different reasons that I think that was going to be great. Statistically, October is always a great month for crypto. So, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. There was Borg October as well that I always thought that was good. Obviously, we had the migration CHSB to Borg, but in general, it's a great one where people, starts to think about the year's end. And I think so. The crypto market hasn't rallied as well as I would say the stock market, and it's really now like negative correlation to the stock market, which is great. And we're really seeing that Bitcoin has rallied crazily in the past few days, up to 35,000. A lot of it was driven by the fact that there was not so much volume. And as I repeat multiple times, the biggest shows happen when no one is watching. That's when no one is really active, because it's very easy to move a market anyways, upside or downside, if there's not a lot of people into the market, right? So when there's small amount of volume, when the fear index, the greed feed index is very low, these are usually good times to be in the market and to trade the market, right? So you really see these volatility spikes that could be driven maybe last week by the fake news of essentially Bitcoin. But then I think what I believe would happen is that there was essentially a lot of short squeeze that happened already last time. Some people have tried to redo this, but in a even less than last time. And they said, okay, if you're able to push the market so easily, can we do it a second time? And I think so. This is exactly what happened. Is that, well, a lot of people saw what's happening on the short side, see that it was shaky hands. So the bulls essentially just beat the market. Now, let's a bit look into other things regarding the market itself. You see that Bitcoin is really the rally, right? We see the king taking over the position of everything. The queen Ethereum, she's doing great, and there's still alts is doing okay. The children are doing, so the princes and princesses are doing okay. But this is really a king play, right? Where people are still positioning themselves on Bitcoin because it's the leading one in these transition markets. It's a leading one and as well in the early bull markets. I believe that we are now in this early bull market, that the recent, 10, 15, 20% jump into the market have shown essentially that there is the smell of a good season happening, right? These are just like a bit like how you say before getting into the cinema, you're just working different trailers and you smell that little popcorn going up your nose and you're like, oh, I need to buy some popcorn before the movie watches. It doesn't mean that the movie has started yet, but it is starting where between this transition and this bull market that should rally eventually soon. However, for that to happen, we need some substantial news. I still don't believe that the ETF is good enough to propulse us into a bull season, right? We need some macro events that needs to happen. We know that the war for now has had no impact at all on essentially crypto, which is a very good, healthy sign for the crypto market. We know as well that essentially rates haven't been, hiked again. So hopefully that means that by the end of the year, no rates will be hiked, and hopefully next year we'll start to see in Q1, Q2, rates are going down. There's always a potential of the halving. Obviously, this is something that is a very big news for Bitcoin, as we know, because essentially it's a great way for the market to remain bullish and essentially to open to this new season. But we still need something that is missing, right? Something big, something new, something where you see mass adoption, bringing into different decentralized applications. And talking about this, definitely Solana, we talked about it when it was $20, now that they're at $30+ dollars. That was definitely a very interesting trade over there. For those that are still very bullish about Ethereum, you should be. As you know, it has rallied as much as the king, but though obviously the queen is the one that will lead this market. So sooner or later, you'll see a bit pop of a nice spike from our dear Ethereum, mother of blockchains. And last but not least, same for the alt seasons. You've seen different tokens that have performing very well, but you'll see more and more of these that will probably, and of course, SwissBorg token had done extremely well last week. This week, we're still waiting for a bounce. There's a bit difference between the Borg and the CHSB, which is still traded on Uniswap, but this should converge. I think so is potentially people that want to play at arbitrage. Not very sure, but I do believe that we need to provide more liquidity to the Borg into essentially Uniswap and different DeFi protocols. But for that, we'll talk about right after. Anticipating one of the biggest news about SwissBorg and how we're changing the game and how the Borg is going to capture a lot of this is this super freaking cool video. Check it out right now. Talking about Guardians of the CHSB, isn't this now called Guardians of the Borg? This time you have to vote on the safety net, burn contribution, and Borg vault. So more information in the email and the type form, so please check it out. The alpha is the new, obviously, layer that we have been pushing. I just want to talk a little about the alpha and what's potential the future of the alpha as well. So now let's tune in and see how cool this is going to be. SwissBorg Alpha, when opportunities are this time sensitive, you need the confidence to act on. And for this is very, very difficult because you need to understand essentially the top down approach and the bottom up. I explained that a little bit, I think so, in the last week. The top down essentially is all that macro trends. So, and then essentially in the macro trend is to define the themes. Like what are the best themes to play? Is it blockchains? Is it DeFi? Is it social fi? Is it GameFi? Is it layer twos? It's like a sub theme within the theme. So these are really things that to understand that trends essentially do move the markets, and some players really essentially are growing thanks to that. The second is the timing, and we know the timing of the cycles. We repeat this multiple different times. We've seen that we have had third cycles of essentially crypto, which are based on Bitcoin halving, which happens every 4 years, right? And the new cycle right now is happening as we speak. So we're entering this new bull phase. And so these are two things that you have to understand. And then the other, which is very difficult, is the bottom-up approach. So where you go into the projects themselves and you try to essentially fundamentally understand if the project is good and if the token economics are strong enough to gather those both. And you look really into these 5 different P's that we explained last time as how to essentially value these projects. And then, which is very important, is the entry, essentially, the exits of these different projects, if you feel like it. It does not always have to exit everything, just to make things clear. But an investor usually does look for exits. And then to make sure that there's a continuous monitoring of the project. So this is really the long cycle of essentially how to create a great investment case, and how essentially to bring alpha to everyone. So which is the problems that alpha solves? Well, what I just explained, it takes actually a big team to figure this out. And even the big team that is within the SwissBorg investment team, it's still very hard to figure this out. Most of the thing is the time. Then it's the technical skills. It's really, really hard to understand everything from the financial perspective, to marketing, the growth, to due diligence on a technical level, investment level. There's a lot of different things, right? Then there's a lack of network. So get into these alpha deals, very often you have to do essentially all these different essentially projects themselves, the founders, the teams. Or if not, you have to have a good network with different venture capitalists that invest in these projects as well, that share their deal flow, which happens very rarely. Then I think so, which is obviously, the problem we're trying to solve is how to do this within one click, right? And I would say the last but not least is the lack of capital and liquidity. So the minimum or maximum investment size that can be solved. This is something that's very important, that we try to essentially break it down for a lot of people to participate, to make sure that there's enough room for everyone, which obviously is still not the case. So these are the 3 different ones that we have thought about. There's maybe potential more for the future, but for now, let's start with something new, okay? What about participating in essentially an alpha opportunity, a vault that is on just one token? And this is a token that's not listed into the app, maybe has low liquidity, or maybe it's hard essentially to list it, or just we don't want to list it. Or we could as well play within the listing, create something theme, which is crazy. So this one is a very interesting one. It's Pepe versus Shiba. So as we know, Dodge has been the dog father of the dogs and the meme tokens. But then Shiba in the last cycle has made a lot of noise. The noise that they've made maybe is good. Will that create a new narrative for the next cycle? It's hard to say. We know that Pepe has started in the transition market and has done phenomenal well, retraced it massively from 1.5 billion to 300 million, right? And the idea here would be you invest all your Shiba to get paid out in Pepe tokens. So the dog is replaced by the frog. So that could be like one opportunity. And here in the comments, please talk about different alpha vote single tokens that you'd like to see. Alpha votes could be essentially early deals. So nothing new here. So it's early deals that are tokens that haven't been yet launched, not listed, but launched. Okay, right? So pre-launch pad type of thing. So we had SwissBorg, we had Favor already. So you know it. And last but not least, it's about essentially NFTs. You saw a basket of NFTs, so that could be different collections, but that's probably going to take much more time. For time being, it could be, for example, just NFTs itself. And this could be like Bored Apes, it could be Mad Lads, it could be whatever different type of essentially NFTs that we strongly believe have utility or have store of value or have a great community and has a great investment thesis at least behind it. So that's a bit the two other types of alpha deals that we want to bring into the app. Post in your comments here, what do you think about it? What are the different NFTs that you like to see, or early deals or single non-listed tokens? I hope you guys have enjoyed how this is going to change the game for wealth management and crypto in general, and how you borgers are going to take advantage from it. Of course, with every investment, there's a lot of risk, and a lot of these ones have actually quite a big tail risk, because these are usually nascent projects that are not established yet, but we still believe that this is a good thing. And based on our surveys, a lot of people are listing for moonshots, as we say. Chart of the week and the champions of 2022 so far in terms of largest exchange. This has done by a great lad, $628,300 that was changed from USDT to USDC, and all of that for free thanks to the Genesis, which is a shame for SwissBorg, but it's great for you. The number 2 is the largest CHSB board purchase, was $32,100 within one trade. Fantastic, lad. Congrats to that. The largest earn reward within one day at over $1,000 on the USDT core strategy. Top exchanger, 13,182 transactions has been done. That is insane when you think about it. That's divided by 300. That is like 400 transactions, 40 transactions per day. So that's a lot of trading. Good for you. I'd like to see how much. Actually, I'll ask if this is going very well, if you are doing a great job or not. The top yielder has done something quite nice as well, 100K rewards so far this year. And the top happener goes to someone that is very, very into trading and that is very, very sensitive to price change. 84,000 times. That is almost 300 times per day, which is quite crazy. So that is a lot of times per hour when you think about it. Let's say 30 times per hour. Every 2 minutes, you're checking the app. Please don't do that as much. I don't think so. It's super healthy, but it's probably making you wealthy, hopefully. So chart of the week was champions of 2023. Congrats of all you people that have been there. Looking forward to the next ones. Talking about stats and a lovely one, CHSB data, we have almost 45,000 people in the app. Next week, we should get a 45,000. As I said last week, that'll be really cool. 13% up, which is nice. It brings us to close to 223 million SwissBorg tokens into the app that is staked, and almost 151,000 people. So hopefully next week will be all new round numbers, which will get us to the next chapter. Really welcome all the borgers, which is great. Which brings us to the community index. What is the score? Cast your score right now. Try to figure this out. Yes, we're in the green. You know what I mean? And we're all up pretty much on everything. 6.7. This is a great, great one, and more momentum to come. Borgers, I am very, very excited about this. Finally, it gets to a new season. This doesn't mean that we're gonna rally right away to 40,000 and then 100,000 with Bitcoin, or to 10,000 directly with Ethereum, $10 with the bar token. It just means that we are smelling this popcorn and we're about to get in. The trend is your friend, and we've seen that this recent price dynamic is going to probably create the hope of, yes, we're out of it. That's what usually people need, is how the market sentiment wants to show that, yes, the light is over there. We are at the end of the tunnel. And after that tunnel, there is new horizon, there's new highs, there's new products. But for that, we need a very strong thesis. So right now, what we need is to understand is that there's going to be a lot of choppiness, probably more volatility, much more volume, which will bring something much healthier. And people will wake up from the institutional world, but as well from the retail. And we see it already now with statistics from the SwissBorg app and other different exchanges. And we see the same what's happening on Deribit for options or different futures, for example, on the CME whatsoever. So this is something that's really, really good to understand. We know that it is time in these times that you guys are building your wealth, and you already have witnessed this. Obviously, there's much more to done next week with Solana Breakpoint, with SwissBorg and the Borg itself as well. I'm really looking forward to see some of you guys, hopefully in Amsterdam, to catch up. Will be really great. And in the meantime, be healthy, be wealthy, love our equity and our Borg. Oh, that didn't sound right at all. Last one. Be wealthy, be healthy, love our equity, love our Borg and our equity. I can't say it. May the Borg be with you guys.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you zero fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.